Hey there, tech lovers. Have you ever wondered if you could get flagship performance without breaking the bank? What if I told you that certain smartphones priced at under $200 could rival the latest iPhone and Samsung Galaxy in several key areas? In today's video, we're diving deep into such a device that's turning heads and challenging the status quo. We'll explore its surprising specs, put it through rigorous performance tests, and even compare its camera capabilities to those premium devices you know and love. So stick around, because by the end of this video, you might just rethink what you consider a budget smartphone. Before we dive in, let's take a look at such a contender, the Xiaomi Poco M6 Pro 5G. This unassuming device might not look like much. It's got a plastic body, a simple design, and honestly it feels pretty light. You might walk past it in a store without a second glance. But don't let its humble appearance fool you. This little powerhouse is about to give the big boys a run for their money, and I mean that literally, because this phone costs less than a nice dinner for two. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty. What makes this Poco M6 Pro 5G tick? First, we've got a surprisingly capable processor. It's using the Qualcomm Snapdragon 4 Gen 2, which on paper shouldn't be able to compete with the latest Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 or Apple A16 Bionic chips. But thanks to some clever optimization, it punches way above its weight. Next, we've got 4 GB of RAM, not groundbreaking but more than enough for smooth multitasking. Storage-wise, we're looking at 64 GB with the option to expand via microSD. The display is a 6.79-inch IPS LCD with a 90Hz refresh rate. No, it's not OLED, but the colors are vibrant and it gets plenty bright. For cameras, we've got a 50-megapixel main sensor, a 2-megapixel macro, and a 2-megapixel depth sensor. On the front, there's an 8-megapixel selfie camera. Powering all this is a 5,000 mAh battery with 18-watt fast charging. Now, how does this stack up against our $1,000 flagships? On paper, it shouldn't even be in the same league. But as we're about to see, specs don't tell the whole story. Let's start with some benchmark tests. We'll be using Geekbench 5 and Antutu. Surprisingly, our Poco M6 Pro 5G is holding its own. In Geekbench 6, which measures CPU performance, the Poco M6 Pro 5G scored 924 in single-core and 2,227 in multi-core tests. While for Antutu Benchmark 10, which provides a more comprehensive performance overview, the Poco M6 Pro 5G scored a total of 432,616. For context, this puts it in the same ballpark as some mid-range devices that cost significantly more. It outperforms phones like the Samsung Galaxy F14 5G and is competitive with the Xiaomi Redmi 13 5G. Let's see how it handles in the real world. We'll start with some everyday tasks: opening apps, browsing the web, switching between applications. It's keeping up admirably. There's a slight delay compared to the flagships, but nothing that would impact day-to-day use significantly. When opening apps, the Poco M6 Pro 5G takes about half a second to 1 second longer than the latest iPhone or Samsung Galaxy models. For example, launching a heavy app like Facebook or Instagram takes around 2 to 3 seconds on the Poco, while flagships do it in 1 to 2 seconds. Now let's push it further with some gaming. We'll try Genshin Impact, known for its demanding graphics. Incredibly, it's maintaining a steady frame rate. There's some noticeable texture pop-in, and the draw distance isn't as far as on the flagships. But these issues are common even on high-end PCs, so seeing them on a budget smartphone isn't surprising. While noticeable, they don't significantly impact the overall gaming experience on the Poco M6 Pro 5G. The game remains smooth and enjoyable, which is impressive for a device at this price point. Next up, let's talk cameras. This is often where budget phones fall short, but our Poco M6 Pro 5G might surprise you. We'll start with some daylight shots. The colors are vibrant, and there's a good amount of detail. It's not quite matching the flagships in dynamic range, but it's impressively close. Now for the real challenge low-light photography. This is where software optimization really shines. The Poco M6 Pro 5G is using some clever noise reduction and sharpening algorithms to produce a result that on a test 1080p, recording at 30 frames per second, the stabilization isn't quite as smooth as the flagships, but the quality is far better than you'd expect from a $189 phone. Battery life is crucial for any smartphone. We put all 3 phones through a standardized battery drain test involving a mix of web browsing, video playback, and gaming. Remarkably, our Poco M6 Pro 5G lasted nearly as long as the flagships. In fact, it outlasted the iPhone by almost an hour. Our standardized battery drain test involved a mix of web browsing, video playback, and light gaming over a period of 10 hours. Here are the results. Xiaomi Poco M6 Pro 5G started at 100%, ended at 38%. iPhone 14 Pro started at 100%, ended at 35%. Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra started at 100%, ended at 42%. As you can see, the Poco M6 Pro 5G performed admirably, outlasting the iPhone 14 Pro and coming close to the Galaxy S23 Ultra. This is particularly impressive considering its much lower price point. The large 5,000 mAh battery certainly helps, but efficient power management is the real star here. Now I know what you're thinking, there's gotta be a catch, right? Well, you're not wrong. First, while this phone performs admirably now, it may not age as well as the flagships. It's unlikely to receive as many software updates, which could impact long-term performance and security. Second, it lacks some premium features like wireless charging and water resistance, though it does offer 5G capability. Lastly, while it's more widely available than some other budget options, you might not find it in every local store like you would with Samsung or Apple devices. So, what does all this mean? Has our $189 Poco M6 Pro 5G truly challenged $1,000 flagships? Well, yes and no. In terms of raw performance and capability per dollar, it's an undeniable winner. It proves that you don't need to spend a fortune to get a great smartphone experience. However, the flagships still have their place. They offer premium build quality, cutting-edge features, and the peace of mind that comes with buying from established brands. The real takeaway here is that the smartphone market is more competitive than ever. Companies can no longer justify exorbitant prices based on brand name alone. As consumers, we're the real winners in this scenario. If this video made you rethink everything you knew about smartphones, smash that like button and subscribe for more tech revelations.